So, in reviewing some different things to talk about today, I want to bring something that means something to you. I want to bring something that's worth your time, effort, and energy. I want to bring something that talks to you about going and running through the finish line. And the thing that was talking to me to talk to you was this word called stubbornness. Write it down. Stubbornness. Not that long ago, when I was traveling on the freeway, I saw this sign. And the sign said, "Thousands of men will die this year due to stubbornness." Think about that. Caught my attention. How about you? Thousands of men will die this year because of stubbornness. And I thought, wow, they're talking about real estate agents. But they weren't. They were talking specifically about men and prostate cancer, et cetera, because they don't get taken care of, they don't get checked out, and they don't take care of business. Ladies, get your guy in there, okay? Because stuff happens. But what I want to talk about to you today is the cost of our stubbornness, whether male or whether female. And I realized that stubbornness could be causing us or preventing us from achieving our goals. We get stiff-necked. We get, you can't tell me what to do. I know what I'm going to do. I know what needs to happen. And what happens is we don't pay attention. So I wrote this down here. In my opinion, this year, thousands of real estate agents will fail to meet their goals due to what? Stubbornness. Thousands. Think about that issue. Think about what's up in front of us here. So I had a question. So where does stubbornness come from? Why are we stubborn? Any thoughts or ideas? Ego, okay. What else? Sorry?
Bad habits.
Bad habits, okay. So I'll read this to you, and if you want this kind of the definition, I'll send it to you. Listen to this. Stubbornness is refusing to change one's opinions or action despite attempts to persuade one to make changes that will benefit them. Did you hear what I just said? Have you ever heard me, Bill, Diane, any of your other coaches, like Ferry coaches, ever try to get you to do something different than what you're doing? Does that ever happen? Do you do immediately what your coach or suggests or recommends that you do? Do you do that? No. You sometimes. Sometimes. I can count on one hand. Stubbornness is refusing to change one's opinions or actions despite attempts to persuade them to make changes that will benefit you. I wrote down here, it is being bullheaded and resistance to change in spite of a reasonable argument. In spite of a reasonable argument. Can anyone here tell me that door knocking doesn't work overtime? Hello? Can anyone tell me that previewing property overtime isn't a good activity that will lead you to knowing the market better and or doing more businesses? Can you give me an argument back that that doesn't work, yes or no?
No.
You guys should not eat before this meeting. The energy level is non-existent. So I wrote down here, being stubborn is a behavior that often stems from either being ignorant, not knowing, or from being lazy. Any other options? Stubbornness comes from not knowing or being a little bit lazy because you don't want to what? Change. Is change difficult sometimes?
Yes.
Is it painful sometimes?
Yes.
Absolutely. So we don't want to go through those activities. We want to continue doing what we've been doing. When you continue doing what you've been doing, and you continue to get the same result, what's that called? Insanity. And yet we still do it, don't we? It's the food we eat. You know, this is not one big taco. Okay? This didn't happen because last night I ate one big taco. This was a lot of little tacos over time. And what's really difficult today is that you would think that if I stopped eating the same number of tacos, it would all go away. It doesn't work that way. And it takes longer. Am I the only one that's finding this out? So I wrote down here, we should ask ourselves these tough questions. Am I as successful as I want to be? Am I as successful as I want to be? Do I follow the advice of my broker, coach, mentor, or other high-achieving agents that are nice enough to share with us what works for them, what's not working for them? Am I seeing the professional results that I want? I wrote down here, if the answer is no to these questions, then ask yourself, is that because I'm being stubborn? Now, if I said to you, are you being resistant? You would say, perhaps. If I say to you, you're being stubborn, that doesn't feel good, does it? Come on. It doesn't feel good, does it? And yet, could you own it? Is it possible you could own that you're being stubborn? Has there ever been a time where I've stood up here giving you a piece of advice, like now, and you're listening to it, but you're not taking action on it? Has there ever been that time?
Yes.
So I wrote down here, if you think you may be stubborn, acknowledging it is the first step to recovery. So congratulations. The first step to be a recovering stubbornness person. Stubbornnick. The stubbornnick. Acknowledging that you may be stubborn and you owning it is the first step to recovery. Now, so I wrote down here, what changes should we make if we're being stubborn? Now, we're focusing right now on the last few weeks of 2014. And what we do today is going to affect us in two areas. A, the listings we can take between now and the end of the year, whether those can become pendings, and whether those pendings can close before the end of the year. And my contention is there's still time to take listings, to have them go pending, and to have them still close before year end. Absolutely. That's number one. And then number two is there's the activity that you're doing today is also going to be listings, pendings, and sales that you're going to make in the first quarter of 2015. And if you're doing business in the first quarter of 2015, if you come off of a high and you continue on a high, that means you're rolling on this momentum and it carries you into 2015. And it doesn't matter if business is good or bad in terms of the business in the marketplace. What matters is your momentum, right? Say yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. It's your personal momentum. It's what you're doing. You cannot slow down right now. You cannot. It's going to be even harder. Who's recently tried to lose weight? Besides me. Okay? Do you remember that years ago, when we would try to lose some weight, it would, with a little bit of effort, seem to come off a teeny bit faster, or you got better results quicker. Do you find that?
Yes.
And the older we get, the harder it is to get started, and the harder it is to stay going. And that's how it is in this business. It's identical to that. So if you're in momentum, stay in momentum. Don't back off of the pedal. So let's talk about what we need to do for the next few months to focus on ending 2014 at a high and continuing it into 2015's first quarter. First of all, write this down. You need to meet more people. You need to meet more people, not prospect. Okay? Because sometimes you don't like that word. I just want you to meet the people. Just meet the people. Now, you might have to phone prospect. You might have to door knock. You might even occasionally need to hold an open house or two, or you might have to go to some kind of social event and talk to the people. But you need to do what? Talk to more people. And however many you're talking to, quite frankly, right now, isn't enough. Number 2. Subsection to that. So it's 1A. Keep in mind there are more people out there that you don't know than you do know. Keep in mind there are way more people out there you don't know than you do know. So let's find those people. Point number 2. Follow up on connections. Follow up on connections. I'm not going to call it lead follow-up because you don't like to do lead follow-up. But I'm going to ask you to follow up on the connections that you make. Call and email your leads on a consistent basis. Don't take no for an answer when yes is still possible. And don't lose any deals because you under-followed up. We're doing a good amount of lead follow-up right now on our databases. It's a focus that we have with a number of agents. And what we're finding, unfortunately, is a lot of disconnected phone numbers. You know what it means when a phone number's disconnected that you had? What does it mean? They move. Okay? We're finding a lot of people that we connect with, but said, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. I wish I would have heard from you a few weeks ago. I just listed my house and it went into escrow. We're finding a lot. You know, it's just occurred to me. If we had that business that we are hearing right now, think about how many times you hear that in your lead follow-up. Think about that. If we had that business and that business was in our pocket and we were closing on those transactions, there's not one of you that would have a cash flow problem right now. Interesting, huh? Because you would each have 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 10, 15 more transactions under your belt, either pending or getting ready to close. Wouldn't that be great? Third point, know your market. Also known as preview property. You don't like previewing property? So know your market. I'm just coming at it a different way today. You know, sometimes you think I'm sneaking up on you this way, or we're going to go this way. Right now, we're at Know Your Market. So visit all the property for sale in your market. Knowledge equals confidence. If you know what's for sale, you're going to be more confident about what's going on. Try it just for the next 8 or 10 weeks, just to the end of the year. Go take a look at these properties. When you know the market, you speak with confidence. Period. End of conversation. Point 4. Make a planned, professional, practiced presentation. Make planned, professional, practiced presentations. Also known as learn your scripts. Role play. Learn your scripts. Role play. I wrote down here, learn to say what to say and how to say it. Commit to one script for the next week or 2. Learn it. Own it. We've been doing this in our advanced script class. We do this for you. Show up at the advanced script class once a week. Just once a week. We do it 3 times a week. You just have to show up once. And learn that script that we're working with you at a higher level. And you do that every week. Think about it. You're going to end up having, probably the way we're set up, you're going to have 4 or 5 scripts under your belt, and you'll own them between now and the end of the year. Would that help you or hurt you for the balance of this year going into next year? What would it be? Would help you, right? Why won't you do it? Because you are stubborn. Okay, write down the word stubborn on your paper. Write it down. Stubborn. Write down stubborn. Write it down. Put it down. Come on, Doug. Write it down. Stubborn. Stubborn. Stubbornness. Stubborn. Okay, got it? Everybody got it written down? Now draw a circle around it. Put a line through it. You are no longer stubborn. Okay? Call your spouse or significant other. They're going to be so happy with me. Because now you're not stubborn anymore. Right? Come on, do this. Yeah, sure. Learn what to say and how to say it. Commit to a script. Learn how to handle objections. I wrote down here, we need to break the cycle of stubbornness. We need to break the cycle of stubbornness. And here's a quick plan to supercharge the end of the year. Okay? Just a really quick. We're going to knock through these really quick. All right? Number 1, visit 5 expireds a day. 5 expireds per work day. Write it down and actually do it. Okay? This is the rule today. Write it down and actually do it. Today, for the balance of the year, go see 5 expireds per work day and actually do that. You know, just as a side note, I won't pick on any agents, but there are agents in this room and agents that we coach that actually do this and are getting listings and making sales because of it. Okay? It is working. Do it. Stop being stubborn. Stop coming up with reasons why not to do it and go do it. What if I say please? Will that help? Please. Number 2, preview 5 properties a day. Preview 5 properties a day. Preview 5 properties a day in your area. Go see 5 expireds. Preview 5 properties per work day. When you know the product, you're a better agent. Knowledge equals confidence. 3rd thing, I want you to go door knock 10 houses around each one. Anybody ever heard this before? Okay? Well, you're stubborn if you're not doing it. You don't want to be called stubborn? Remember, you can write this one down too. This goes right along with stubbornness. You are where you are because it's okay with you. Because if you weren't okay with it, you'd do something about it. You are where you are because it's okay with you. If it's not okay, if you say to me right now, Neil, this is not okay for me to live commission check to commission check. It's not okay for me not to have money to take care of my kids. It's not okay for me to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning with cold sweats that I don't know how I'm going to make the mortgage this month. What day is it? It's the 15th. Oh my gosh, the mortgage is already due. What am I going to do? I don't have any closings. There's no pendings. Blah, 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 blah. Okay? You are where you are because it's okay. Because if it wasn't okay, you'd go see 5 expireds today. You'd go see 5 previews today, and you door knock 10 around each one of them. Why don't you do it? It's because you are stubborn. You please do that. Third thought, or fourth, I guess. Fourth, spend 30 minutes a day practicing your scripts and dialogues. Now that's not just the hour that you're in advanced script class. That's 30 minutes per work day for the rest of your life. If you knew what to say and how to say it at a really high level, do you think it might help you in getting your business done and doing more deals? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, 4 of you. Good job. Okay. Spend 1 hour a day, 0.5, in intense lead follow-up. 1 hour a day in intense lead follow-up. You're, in some cases, prospecting. Remember, let me put it this way. Prospecting is lead generating. Write that down. Prospecting is lead generating. Lead follow-up is appointment setting. We want to run through the finish line right now. Our Christmases depend on it. Our families depend on it. What you do today is going to dictate what you will have at the end of this year and how you're going to start 2014. 6th point.
15.
Sorry? 15, thank you. Spend 20 to 30 minutes a day managing your past client and sphere of influence database. Make sure that everyone is receiving an email weekly. Make sure that everyone is getting snail mail monthly. Make sure that everyone is getting a call from you every other month. I wrote down here, stop being bullheaded and resistant to change. Stop it. You are where you are because it's okay with you. You are where you are because you're being stubborn with it. The system works. It's up to you to take action on it. Today. Right now, focus in on what you can do to make the rest of this week productive, exciting, enthusiastic. The leads that you need to follow up on, the expires that you need to go see. And then let's turn this into one of the most productive weeks there ever has been for you. Let's go and do it now. Thank you.